Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Detective Grimoire, and thank you for watching. Detective Grimoire is a click-and-point adventure-style game, guys, with a healthy dose of murder. You've seen games like this out there before, guys. There's plenty of games like this one out there, but what separates this one, I feel, from the others is kind of its adorable, quirky art style, fantastic voiceover work, and its well-integrated game mechanics, which we will be touching upon and seeing here in a bit. It released on Steam August 2014, and it was developed and published by SFB Games, which you might recognize if you've been following my IndieView series, because they did Haunt the House Terror Town, which has a very similar kind of art style and, kind of overall theme where, it's kind of like light-hearted and, cute. Not that you're going to be playing a ghost or anything like that in this game. You can go ahead and buy Detective Grimoire on Steam for $6.99, and it's also available on the mobile market, but the prices there, may vary. Now, guys, I am a fan of, Agatha Christie novels, Poirot or Arthur Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, and I feel this game does a really good job of capturing the feel and the perplexity of those types of stories. Everyone has a motive. Everyone is up to something. And, it's your job to figure out who and why this is all happening and how it is connected somehow. I love mysteries is what I'm trying to say, guys. And this game is an adorable, murderous treat wrapped up in an indie box. It's fun, it's well made, and I couldn't stop playing it when I launched it, guys. I actually beat it from beginning to end when I first started playing it, if that tells you anything of how much I like this game. So let's get into the swamp and solve a murder here, guys. We're going to start at the beginning, so that way I can show you some of the basic game mechanics. I told you, I wasn't lying there. I was 100% right there. I beat the entire game, guys. So I'm going to start a new game here. One thing to note, there's going to be a lot of voice acting. There's a lot of audio to this game. And the audio is so important. The music is fantastic. The voice acting is fantastic. But for the purposes of this particular video, I might be skipping some of it just to get to the point where I can show you somehow the game mechanics actually work. But for the most part, let's kind of talk for a little while and introduce you to the overall universe here. I have to say the score is so fantastic. It's so awesome. It really does a good job of kind of capturing you and bringing you into the universe. As far as the controls go, basically you're going to be using your mouse. There's no controller support or anything like that. Also, the game also has a little bit of an appy feel to it all.
A murder occurred in a remote part of this swamp.
Like I said, I'm going to be talking over him sometimes. The game does have a bit of an appy feel to it all, where you'd be kind of clicking and dragging objects. And I didn't actually know it was on the mobile market until about, actually 10 minutes ago when I looked it up. Because it doesn't really feel like it's a mobile game. You don't really feel the entire click and point aspect to things. It does a really good job of blending the gameplay, is what I'm trying to say.
Idiot thought they saw an alien here 100 years ago.
Get your facts straight for once. We're talking about a creature that's lived in the swamp for over 60
I love how he has a cup of coffee in the boat.
Okay, so it's a 60.
Are they sitting on each other's laps? Well, I guess it's just from their perspectives. I'm
If
not
it
really
matters
sure.
to anyone, it's you. That creature is our prime suspect.
Oh yeah, it's from their perspective because the boat kind of flips.
That's right. This is no Loch Ness monster.
Very
You need to
strange.
be taking this seriously.
No, look, come on. How am I supposed to arrest something that might not exist?
We've always enjoyed
We're
each
gonna
other
call
before. You can
Ghostbusters.
start
Oh
by
wait,
reading
no, wrong game.
this.
Our case file? Heh, there's not a lot of it, is there?
As usual.
So as you can see
you
here,
never
every
compare
character has their
sections
own
at this
style,
point.
their own really just identifiable voice acting, guys. Like I was saying, the game does, like I said, have a kind of an appy feel, but I didn't notice that. I didn't feel that at all when I was playing this game. I didn't mind the puzzles. I didn't mind kind of, clicking and dragging things away. And it wasn't until after I beat the game that I finally learned, hey, it's on the mobile market. Well, anyways, this game basically is, of course, about the murder of Richard Remington, who is the founder of the tourist attraction Boggy's Bog, who was found dead outside his office at 20:45 last night. Exact cause of death is unknown. 3 small wounds to the chest suggest an attack from a clawed creature. Slime around the wound and footprints found at the scene suggest the culprit was Boggy, the legendary swamp creature. Any of the 7 other people present in the swamp last night could hold vital information or be one of the murderers. And this is just one of the many things that you'll be finding throughout the game. There's actually several different clues to collect, and items to collect, and then analysis to perform. Kind of almost what's that show called? I forget what it's called. A crime show where you crime scene investigation. CSI. That's what I'm looking for. There's a lot of crime scene investigation to be doing.
That thing is our murder suspect?
There's our character, by the way, acting all cool, hiding under his hat.
I promise you, this is the place it all began.
It all began
soon enough.
The voice acting. I have to say, the art style is really cool. The game does a really good job of blending its backgrounds with its characters. And it's just all very well done here. Of course, they're going to start you off with a little bit of like a tutorial type of thing, explaining how you're going to do this. I'm going to be just clicking through this because I know how to play the game, obviously. And I just want to start talking about the elements that we'll be playing with. Obviously, there's two different ways you can play the game. There's kind of like a hint thing you can turn on and off. If you want to play the game a little more difficulty, I would suggest turning that off, because it does a really good job of showing you what you need to collect and where. For that matter, you can of course also alter all the sliders here, the music, the speech, the ambient sounds. There's achievements. There is a healthy dose of steamy goodness here, guys, for you to enjoy. Now let's talk about what you're looking at right here. Obviously, this is kind of a click and point adventure game. It also has a little bit of like a hidden item genre to it all, where you're clicking on the screen, kind of collecting notes on things.
That must be the entrance to Boggy spot.
For instance, I clicked on that spot right there. Click on that spot.
That's where I need to go. I can switch to walk mode with the button in the bottom right. Oh, and if I'm feeling confident, I can turn off those sparkly hit items.
There you go. And you'll be clicking around on the screen to find different kinds of clues or items or things you may need to collect to move the case forward, of course. These things on the right are our suspects. Now, we have only obviously met two of our suspects, kind of theoretically, which is Boggy, who is theorized to be the murderer. There he is. He's so cute with his big green eyes and smile. How could this guy murder anybody? And then it basically brings you to the point where you can kind of look at the clues and the information that you've learned about the characters. Now, this is one thing I am confused about. You can change this from suspicious to not suspicious. And I know this has to involve some way with some sort of achievement. I'm not really sure. I didn't even really use this for pretty much the entire game. I ignored this aspect of things, but for some reason or another, it's there for you to mess around with and use for in the game, and it leads to some sort of achievement. So that's something to keep aware of. And it presents to you general information about the characters. The challenges we'll talk about soon enough. The boss, the murder victim. There's other things to, of course, see. There's a map for you to explore. There's different suspects that you'll be collecting their character profiles, adding more clues to those characters. But for now, let's just get moving forward here and actually moving deeper into the game.
Wow, you didn't get lost yet.
No, I only just got here. Who are you?
You don't remember. Of course, you're not great at remembering. I should be offended, though.
Of course, this does present an opportunity for you to have multiple choices. You kind of need to respond to characters. Sometimes there is right answers, sometimes there is wrong answers. But in this general case, there really isn't any wrong answers. And this game does present a little bit of a mystery to it all as to what is going on with Detective Grimoire, which that is his name, by the way. And you kind of have to figure out what's going on with the overall story of the Boggy's murder while figuring out what the hell's with this little girl, which even I don't know, and I beat the game.
You're that weird girl from the fairground.
Saw your hat blow through here already. You must be slow, if it wouldn't even wait for you.
Well, if you'll let me, I'd better go after it. You can wait here and behave.
You'll get lost. I would never forgive myself if I let you go through without the map.
You have a map of the swamp?
Not anymore. I'm giving it to you.
You should really stay here. It's dangerous. There's been a murder. Although I suppose you know all about it already?
They're saying.
So this is obviously when she gives you the map, guys. That allows you to kind of traverse the swamp. I think we already have the map, though.
He's a different sort of creature.
Again, just adding overall to kind of a weird theme, and I enjoy that. Literally, she does disappear. I might pretend I imagined her. And you kind of have to figure out what the hell is going on in the swamp. And I really like that because it just presents kind of a weird freakiness to the entire game here. And as you collect things like the police file and the map here, they'll be added to your clues, which is what this section is right here. And there is a lot of different clues for you to collect in this game, guys. A lot of different things that will lead to the overall theme and story of the game, of course. That's that right there. This thing on the top left over here basically shows you your overall progress. As you can see, I'm at 2% progress. The 0/7 there is the number of challenges I've unlocked, which will also lead to more clues, lead to more items, lead to more information. Below that is the character profiles, the clues, and the map. So let's go ahead and start clicking around on stuff here.
It's an opportunity for a photo. The two characters are an explorer and Boggy himself. Are they fighting? It's an old statue of Boggy. His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water.
Of course, in the game, there is puzzles, guys. So obviously, we'll have to deal with puzzles in this game. The puzzles, of course, are all not too difficult. They're more meant to be fun more than anything difficult. And that's one thing I do like about this game, is that it's mostly about being it's a lighthearted game, guys. It's meant to be just kind of enjoyed and played. And just about anyone can play this game, I think, and enjoy this game. So we're going to get this down here. Obviously, we just kind of need to move these around.
Hey, nice. I might get one of these.
And there we go.
This is the tourist attraction? The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. Let's do some.
Alright, and this presents to you a new aspect of the game where you kind of have to start helping Detective Grimoire sort his thoughts. And this is one aspect of the game that I really like, and I also think it's really, it was one of the more challenging parts of the game, because you kind of need to figure out what it is he's trying to figure things out. So he'll give you kind of like a hint. So like, for instance, seems like the middle of nowhere, and it'll present to you many different kinds of options. Like, for instance, is it beard, the swamp, the tourist attraction, that little girl, the murder, our boat. And then you need to kind of put these objects in an order for them to make sense. So for instance, the Boggy's tourist attraction is too stupid for my beard to be so smart.
The tourist attraction is too stupid for my beard to be so smart. I'm losing my mind.
Does a little bit of a Shatner there. Talks very slowly. So you need to kind of put these things in order. And of course, the clue that he gives you, which is, Boggy's bog, seems a little bit middle of nowhere, is kind of a hint of how to put his thoughts in order. And this happens a lot throughout the game. It's just one of the many aspects that I enjoyed about the game. I thought it was very well integrated into the game as well. So, for now, let's see. Okay, so he thinks Boggy's Bog seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. So, Boggy's Bog, the tourist attraction, is way too big for her, isn't warm enough for her, is far too remote for her. That seems right. Remote for the swamp to be so smart, to have happened, to murder someone, to make any money. This seems about right. And then, of course, you'll hear a confirmation clicking noise that lets you know that you got it right. Or not. Apparently I screwed that up. I'm sorry. That's kind of funny. Oh, here we go. Okay, is it this one? I forgot.
The tourist attraction is far too remote for
oh, that's what it was. I think it's this one. This one.
Oh, who would come here?
There we go. That's what I had backwards.
The swamp.
There we go. That's what it was. I had it backwards.
The tourist attraction to make any money. It's really bugging.
So that's just one example of the game mechanics that we're dealing with. There's also puzzle games hidden throughout the entire game in different aspects and things.
There's a hollow part of the tree right at the front, but it's too dark to see.
And basically, you kind of just have to click around. And I will say that you have to click on everything, guys. You want to click on everything to try to find clues, find evidence that may help you obviously discover the murder. It's switching back between walking mode and examination mode. And this is the aspect where I'll find that I kind of find myself sometimes skipping through the dialogue. As if you can click on things, you'll read the same thing over and over again.
Is this entire place built around it?
For instance, we just found a clue. We just saw a giant pair of yellow eyes glowing there. I don't know if you caught that, but Boggy's in the tree. I'm just going to let you know on that right now. Spoilers! But yeah, basically, you can just click around the area, and sometimes you'll end up clicking on the same thing and kind of learning the same information.
It's a
which is, sometimes you want to just skip through it. That's where I find myself kind of skipping through the dialogue. Sometimes that is. Even though the dialogue itself is fantastic, the music is good, the graphics are fantastic, there's just times where you don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over.
Place lying on the ground over there.
So basically, as you click around, you'll start discovering different kinds of
A rather prominent
clues,
tree stump
different
leaning over
kinds
the
of
wooden pathway.
people. Obviously, we're not going to run into too many people right
It's
away
hard to
because we need
ignore.
to get to the crime scene first.
I should visit the crime scene before I do anything
As you can
else.
see.
I think Officer James said it was to the west.
So we're just going to head to the crime scene first, guys, and then I'll present to us
There's a narrow path here leading up that hill and through the trees. It doesn't look inviting. I'm not sure it's part of the tourist attraction.
So the crime scene's up here, so we're just going to head straight towards it. Even though you can't, there isn't necessarily, you're free to explore how you want. Once you get past the initial crime scene, they basically let you start kind of doing things at your own pace. And that's another thing I like about this game, is it doesn't really force you down a very linear path. You're free to explore, free to gather clues pretty much as any way you want. And then, solve the case eventually. Eventually, all of the game has chapters to it, and eventually once you get all the chapters done, you put all your clues together and solve the murder, obviously. So let's just go around here, clicking on areas looking for clues.
There's an open window above Remington's body. One of the curtains is ripped and hanging on the outside. So, this is where they found Remington's body.
Oh, did you get that by the chalk outline right there, buddy?
I can't get in here without a key, and I don't feel like kicking the door down. Maybe if I get desperate later on.
Okay.
Maybe.
There's other things, obviously, to click around on, like the
There are
footprints,
bizarre footprints, and back down into those reeds by the water.
which are more clues,
And back.
which is a little
I don't
mysterious. There's things that may be in the bushes.
Maybe I should take a. Maybe I can move. some of
Again,
them out the
another
way.
example of a puzzle game that you're playing here. We need to just move these aside. And we discovered a clue. A strange flipper. Strange group of flippers who left these lying around. And you basically just have to click around on everything, guys. Like I said, to just discover as
It's
many
Remington's office.
clues
Don't think
as you can. For instance,
What's this? There's a lockpick dropped amongst the weeds down here in the water. I just have to work out which vine to break and tap that button. Nope, that. Maybe I should try. That's the one, but I wonder where this lockpick came from.
so again, we're gathering more clues that basically have more evidence. All of these items are somehow linked to the murder itself, and we need to discover how that happened. So we can head back now and officially start kind of talking to suspects and gathering more clues from the suspects themselves.
Let's get this investigation started.
So we'll talk to this guy first, who looks like he has a
Alright,
big giant
so
head, by the way.
Suspect for my notebook.
That's a little rude.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
I could try.
I'm Bobby Burl, professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder. Obviously.
Grimoire. Strange. Is that your first name?
Again, more chances to kind of find out a little bit more about our main character. That's not necessarily something to do with the main storyline, but may have something to do with himself and what's going on with him, because the game is hopefully going to get a sequel. And it does kind of end, I don't want to give any spoilers, but in a way that leads to a sequel. How about that? There you go.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
So when you basically talk to a suspect, you're going to be presented with this menu where you'll be presented with different questions that you could ask. For instance, you can ask him what his job is, what he did last night. And as you move progressively forward into the game, more options will become available for you to question him about. Which I cannot, I'm not going to say because it's kind of a spoiler. But these two options right here, the ones that are blacked out, present themselves as you progress deeper into the chapters and deeper into the game. So let's just talk to him about his
So
job.
you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
And basically,
your
you'll be
boss?
talking to all the characters, just gathering more
I don't know.
clues, gathering more
We work
evidence.
together. He's tried
Trying
to
to
film here
gather
before, but he never
a
got permission
case
until
file,
about a
as it
week
were,
ago.
against these guys.
Oh, really?
Trying to discover who they are and
Why
what
did
it
he
is
come
they're
in the
up
first
to.
place?
If
And
you're
it's just
looking for
done
a reason
very
to write
well. The
down in your
voice acting is
notebook, I'm
very
sure he can tell you if you ask him.
sharp.
I'm
and
just the guy who
the
carries around the
graphics
camera.
present itself
You
very
always carry
well.
that camera with you?
Most of the time.
So we've obviously questioned about his job. Let's question about what he was doing last night.
You were here yesterday, I presume? Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington was there too.
Remington? You saw him last night? Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw him. He left the cafe looking rather ill. I offered to help, but he just
Oh,
wanted to
the
go
plot
back to his
thickens.
office. He looked like he had a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Again, more clues, more evidence. And once we get all those clues, we can, of course, start presenting clues to people if we want to gather even more evidence. Like, for instance, we'll show him the lockpick.
What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder?
When you show him a piece of evidence, he's either going to have kind of one or two reactions. Either he's going to have a reaction to it and present to you a new clue or some sort of information about that clue, or he's just going to give you kind of a general response and ignore it.
That's great.
Which is usually where I kind of found myself, especially once you get all the clues. I kind of found myself kind of just jamming through all the clues and kind of clicking as fast as possible, because there's a lot of just, clicking of clues.
I'm sorry,
and,
I have not.
showing him of items that happens to each one
What
of
is
the
it?
9
Some evidence
characters.
from last night's murder?
As you can see, you have to do this with pretty much everybody. You could also do this with character profiles, present them character profiles, and see if there's any information they may have on it. So, for instance, if we show him Boggy's profile,
You should ask someone else.
sometimes they may have information, sometimes they don't have
Try
anything.
showing it.
The beautiful part is when you do present them the profile, it does black it out and let you know that, hey, there's nothing, information there for you to gather from this guy.
Prolific cameraman with exceptional skills at carrying heavy equipment.
It does get a little tedious, I will say, at times, especially as you get deeper into the game, having so many clues and so many character profiles. If you want to get 100% in this game, you have to present to every character, every clue, or every profile to get 100% in this game. It just gets a little tedious, and you find yourself kind of clicking through the excellent dialogue and the excellent voice acting more than I would have liked anyways. But it's not a big deal. So we'll go ahead and talk to his boss now.
This area is kind of empty.
Oh, I'm going to talk to his boss. Dave, click his boss.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No, I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
You...
Just going to skip some of the dialogue here. This guy is a director, basically, who's trying to film in the bog. Let's hope you have time for answering my questions.
That's great.
You're in my...
But
I know.
So he's being rude to us.
can anyone just walk in here and start
Again,
filming?
another opportunity to kind of figure out, hey, something's wrong here. For some reason, this guy should not be able to film here. This is a protected area. So we're going to go with Vincent DePere here.
Vincent Van de Peer.
Again, we're
only
putting his
recently got
thoughts
permission
together,
from
helping him
Richard
figure things
Remington
out,
to film here in
which
the
allows us to
I wonder if Mr. Van
unlock
de
a
Peer has
challenge
been breaking
mode. What the
rules.
challenge mode basically unlocks
Or maybe he'll have
is
an
the
excuse.
opportunity to kind of question him and kind of use logic and things that we've heard or you listen. And it's a big deal to important to listen to everything they say, because you never know when you might miss an important detail.
This area is kind of...
So let's go ahead and use now that we have the challenge unlocked, and each one of the suspects has a challenge basically that may reveal more
I heard
clues
this
and
isn't
different
the
things
first
like
time you've
that.
tried to film here.
Where? In... What are you...
Since Remington has denied you filming Remington has denied you the filming permission in the past.
Remington has denied you the filming permission in the...
Oh, that. No,
Nothing but the natural process of being a professional like mine.
every situation simply requires the right approach before the gears start turning smoothly. You understand, I'm sure.
Why did Remington not want you filming here? And why did he change his mind?
It wasn't even up to him. This area is protected, you know. There are certain rules, certain regulations. I encounter this kind of thing all the time, really.
That doesn't explain why he changed his tune. It's a little suspicious.
Why would you say that?
A famous movie director suddenly gets his way. I wonder how that happened.
Again,
Try
presenting
to use my
you with
notebook.
another kind of puzzle
Just
mode
drag
where you
an item
are,
onto the
again,
paper to draw
kind of
the idea.
helping Detective Grimoire put his thoughts together. And I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious what happened here. He says, I am famous, I am the boss, we have money, a sword. Maybe they were lovers, it's possible. Let's see if they were lovers.
That can't be it.
So, you gotta kind of figure out what he did. Obvious answer is he paid the guy off. And like I said, it's not too
Right.
difficult. For the most
I
part, if
think
you do
you've brought
mess something up, it
Remington
pretty much
to
allows you
defense.
to repeat
Well,
whatever it is you
bribe
did
is a
wrong.
strong word.
So in a way, this game is, I'm not gonna say too difficult, but it's not too easy either, I would say. It's enough of a challenge for even like an adult to enjoy, at least I found. Especially if you turn off the entire, the hint system, and you have to click around and find the clues yourself. It makes it a little bit more challenging. Even then, though, it's not super challenging for you to do here. Anyways, you get the pretty good idea what the challenges, what the challenges are like. We can present with him again with new clues, things that we found.
If you want an autograph,
of course, some of the clues he may react to, some of them maybe not.
I don't really have.
It depends on the clue. We have to find certain clues for him to react to. For instance, we tried everything.
If you want an autograph,
didn't really react to anything. So we basically talk to him. We can of course move along, find more suspects, move to the different areas, guys. And all the game's really pretty. It's really awesome looking. Has lots of charm to it, a lot of personality to it. But this is as far as I will go, because the best part of this game, in my opinion, is experiencing it for yourself, guys. I had a great time with this game, guys. Like I said, I couldn't put it down. I had to solve the crime. I will say that the game isn't very long, though. But, it's not too short, either. It strikes a good balance between length and maybe perhaps, overstaying its welcome. Like I said earlier, while the voice acting is phenomenal, I did find myself reading it faster than they spoke, and sometimes kind of clicking through it, which, kind of takes you out of the game. Sometimes it takes away from the charm. And it's just something that, it just kind of deters from the game, especially when presenting clues, guys. It gets really tedious, and really it starts affecting it may affect your total game time, though. I would say somewhere between 2 and 4 hours total for you to beat this game. I think anybody can enjoy this game. Any family will enjoy this title, even with its kind of grisly theme. I found no bugs in the game at all, and it ran smoothly from start to finish, guys. Obviously, I recommend this game, guys, especially if you enjoy mystery games. So big thanks to the developer for a chance to review this game. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you awesome games, guys. Till next time, play more indie games.